Alright, I wanted to make a quick video here, and by quick I mean I'm not adding a background in or anything, but I wanted to talk about the Comics Gate conundrum that is going on. It's been a little while since I've posted a video, and that is because one of the things I love and enjoy to do is write, and I actually like to write comic scripts, and I'd like to think that someday I can get published. I have been published with my novels, just fiction novels, but in the comics industry, it's really difficult to break through. I know people make it sound like it's not difficult, but it's extremely difficult, much more difficult than it is in the world of, standard publishing. So I first heard about the controversy because on Twitter, I'm not on Twitter a lot, but I use it primarily just to follow comic pros, and I like to see their announcements and some of the pages that they've been working on. It's just fun. But I noticed that Jim Zub posted something about Mark Waid and his defense fund. So I thought, this is interesting. Now, I first want to say that I have a lot of respect for Jim Zub. I don't really know him well. I don't know him really, but I have corresponded with him over email a few times, and he's been very kind to me, and I asked him a few questions about writing comics, and he was really, really nice and gave me some responses. So I have a lot of respect for Jim Zub. So the part that I'm having a problem with here is, initially when I saw that Mark Waid was being sued, I thought, oh no, what's this all about? I read into it, and Diversity in Comics is the one suing him. Now, I used to watch Diversity in Comics, I think it was like 2 years ago, when it was a very small channel. I'd watch it and chuckle because I, like many people out there, have noticed a lot of the absurdities happening with social justice and comics. And it's really limited my reading because I have no desire to read that garbage. So I've been, honestly have been reading more Ninja Turtles because they're very apolitical, and a few other sort of just one-off graphic novels, non-superhero stuff. But I digress. So Mark Waid is being sued by Diversity in Comics, and at first I thought, oh no, what is Diversity in Comics doing? I think this is not helping the cause. Why would he be suing? And I was imagining all the different frivolous things that he could be suing over. But when I looked into it, I actually felt a little bad. I was totally wrong. Mark Waid is 100% in the wrong here, and he needs to be sued. But so after going through that thought process, I can forgive Jim Zub for thinking, I'm not sure what's going on in his thought process, but I'm sure that, he's just hearing what Mark Waid is saying about it. But the truth is that Mark Waid interrupted, he used social justice tactics, political tactics, in order to intimidate and to stop Diversity in Comics from creating his own comic with Antarctic Press. And so this issue really hits home for me. Like I said, the reason I haven't been making videos is because I have been spending my free time writing comics. And it really bothers me because I personally would give anything to have a publishing contract, even just to publish a single issue with Antarctic Press or pretty much any publisher. I would be happy to do that. And so when I see that somebody's achieved that, namely Diversity in Comics, or Zach or Richard, I'm not sure which is his actual first name, when he's achieved that, and then Mark Waid takes it upon himself to stop that, that is wrong. So I feel like I'm compelled, like I'm pulled into this fight, and I'm going to go full-blown culture warrior. I have a few questions because to me this is a lot like Gamergate. And I'll be honest, I wasn't even really watching Gamergate or following it, but who won? I mean, how did it end? Was there a sure path? What can we learn from Gamergate that might help us here? I am sensing, though, that memes are going to be part of this culture war, and they have been effective. Speaking of memes, I think that this is a great example of the NPC meme, and I'm not even going to give Mark Waid that much credit, because I think that he's been around for a while. He knows exactly what he's doing. He went out of his way to stop this publishing deal. So to me, he's worse. It's people like, all the other comic pros that are somehow just jumping on board here. They haven't taken the time to just do a little bit of research. Their initial reaction was, oh, well, Mark Waid, let's defend him. So I pulled up Mark Waid's GoFundMe, and right now he's got close to $47,000, and he's asking for $75,000. And this is amazing to me because he had to have had some idea. I have a hard time believing he's really that stupid. But him, interfering in this publishing contract, he really didn't think that there would be consequences, or that he really thought that he was untouchable. So he's being sued for damages, and I know it's at least $75,000. And the fact that that's his goal, I'm guessing that he is already planning on settling this lawsuit, but he's not going to use his money for it. He's going to use your money. So he hasn't reached 75,000 yet, but he's got, $47,000. That's a lot of money. And as I read into it here, it bothers me because he's just so smug. Yeah, and I think that the problem here, and something that I actually reached out to Comics and Diversity, haven't heard anything back yet, but I had read online that no artists would go near him, and that obviously no publishers are going to go near him because of the backlash. And so his only option is to create his own publishing company. I really, really hope, and I think that this could be the answer here, is there needs to be competition. There needs to be a publisher out there that's willing to publish anything, or really specifically publish stuff that is anti-social justice, or, just apolitical. I'm totally happy with a publisher just strictly being there for the story. But I feel like there needs to be a counterbalance. And so I really, really hope that Comics and Diversity is able to do that. It seems like he's got enough support that he could do that, but I think time will tell. So I offered him my help, and again, I'll say it here, anything I can do, I'd love to help. Obviously I don't have as big of a channel that he has, but even if it's just memeing, I'm in. So one last point I wanted to make, and that is politics and comics. So actually, politics is interesting to me. A lot of the videos I've made, most of them have had something to do with politics. And so I'm not against politics. I'm not against politics or, ideology being in comics if it's done well. For example, V and Vendetta. I've got that graphic novel, read it. I disagree with where it's coming from, but it's still a well-written story, and I enjoy it. But I have a full understanding of, where it's coming from. So yeah, I think that kind of thing's interesting. I'm okay with that. It's where, you have all these comics now that are so just into training the public, creating little NPCs that are going to just go along with everything. And that bothers me. I don't like being talked down to. And I don't think most comic readers do. Why would Marvel and DC have such horrible sales? So, anyway, Mark Waid, I am really disappointed in you. It's really upsetting. I have to say, I want to throw out all the Mark Waid stories that I have. But at the same time, I don't. Because then I'm just as bad as they are. I don't want to be, judging the art based off the artist's opinion, because that's what they do. So I don't know. I haven't decided what to do yet, but I can say I'm going to be supporting the Jawbreakers comic that Diversity in Comics is producing. So I'd be curious to know, what do you think we should do with this new front in the culture war? What can we learn from Gamergate? What works? How can we make something better rise out of this? And am I on the money? Should we create another publisher, another publishing house that can compete, because we're willing to publish things that the main publishing companies are too afraid to do? Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I will see you soon.